I'm going to show you guys how to make some delicious white enchiladas at home, and it's so easy and delicious. We're going to start off by cooking 3 chicken breasts. In my pressure cooker, I'm just going to cover the top of the chicken with water. And for the seasonings, I'm just going to be adding a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of onion powder, and a half a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to sprinkle my seasoning over the chicken. I didn't add too much seasonings to my chicken because I'm going to be seasoning my chicken after it's done. So yeah, and I'm also going to be adding a piece of onion for flavor. And I'm also going to add in 2 bay leaves. And I'm just going to let my chicken cook for about 40 minutes. I'm just going to cover this up and let it put it on pressure cook for 40 minutes. But for the ingredients, the rest of the ingredients, we're going to need 3 tablespoons of butter. We're going to need 3 tablespoons of flour. And I used all-purpose flour. And we're also going to need 4 ounces of cream cheese. And some chopped onion, about 1/4 of a cup of chopped onions. And I'm also going to be using 1 cup of Mexican crema. And this is for the sauce. We're also going to be adding in some sour cream, 8 ounces of sour cream, along with 1 can of hatch chiles and 1.5 cups of enchilada sauce, green enchilada sauce, or 10 ounces. And we're also going to be using 3 cups of chicken broth. If you don't have the chicken broth that you buy at the store, you can just mix 2 tablespoons of chicken bouillon into your water, 3 cups of water, and you have your chicken broth. But in my pot, I'm just going to melt down my butter. And I'm just going to wait until the butter melts down. As you see, the butter is starting to melt. But I'm just going to move the butter around in my pan or my pot so that it melts faster. But I'm just going to make sure all of my butter is melted. And I'm going to go in with my onions. And I'm just going to mix my onions, and I'm going to let this saute for about 2 minutes. Making sure not to burn your onions. You don't want to have your eye on high. I have my eye on a medium heat. So yeah, I'm just going to saute my onions for about 2 minutes. I'm just going to mix it. And I'm just going to let this sit here and cook for a minute. And what the onions are doing is they're just getting soft. But I'm going to check it. I'm going to give it a stir. And as you see, the onions are getting soft. But at this point, my onions are done sauteing. And I'm just going to whisk in my flour. And this dish did not taste floury or it didn't taste like flour. Because we're just going to cook the flour for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. But I'm just going to continue to whisk, making sure there aren't any chunks of flour in the butter mixture. And at this point, you guys want to be whisking because you don't want lumps or any flour, like chunks in your sauce. But I'm just going to slowly add in my chicken broth. And as I'm doing that, I'm just going to whisk so that there aren't any lumps or anything in the sauce. And like I said, make sure your temperature is not on high because that can mess your sauce up. But I'm just going to go in with my Mexican crema. And I'm just going to add all of it. Next, I'm just going to add in my 8 ounces of sour cream. And I'm just going to mix that really well. And we're just going to go in with our room temperature cream cheese. My cream cheese wasn't room temperature, but make sure your cream cheese is room temperature because my cream cheese wasn't room temperature and it kind of had like white flakes in it, or white like chunks of cream cheese. It wasn't big chunks, but it was like very small. But yeah, it didn't mess up the taste of the enchiladas or anything. But just make sure your cream cheese is at room temperature. But I'm just going to mix that in really good, making sure there aren't any lumps in the sauce. You guys want to have a smooth sauce. But I'm just going to mix. But once all the cream cheese is dissolved, I'm just going to add in the green enchilada sauce. I'm just going to be adding in 1.5 cups. So I put my first cup and then I'm just going to mix it until it's well incorporated with the sauce. And I'm just turning my eye down. And I'm just going to add the other half, or the 1/2 cup of the enchilada sauce. I'm just going to mix it. And as you see, you guys can see like the white pieces from the cream cheese not being room temperature, as I was saying earlier. But if you don't want that, it doesn't mess up the taste of the enchiladas, like I said. But if you don't want that look, then make sure your cream cheese is room temperature. And I'm also going to add a pinch of salt. You do not want to add a lot of salt because you have salt from the cream cheese and like the enchilada sauce. So I just added a pinch of salt, a small pinch of salt. But like I said, you guys taste as you go. And I just placed that off of the eye and let it sit. But for the chicken, for the seasonings, I'm just going to be using 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, and we're also going to be using the chiles in here. That has chiles in the chicken. But I'm just going to remove my chicken from the pressure cooker. And I'm just going to add my chicken into the bowl and start shredding it. And yeah. I'm just going to shred my chicken until all of it is shredded, and I just have my oven preheated to 350. But I'm just going to make sure all of my chicken is shredded. And at this point, I'm done shredding my chicken, and I'm just going to be adding in the remaining ingredients, which is the seasoning and the chiles. So I'm just going to add in my chiles. And I'm also going to add my seasonings. I'm just going to sprinkle that in there. And then I'm just going to give it a good mix. I'm just going to mix it really good, making sure the seasoning and the chiles covers all of the chicken. And here I just have my flour tortillas, but you guys can definitely use corn tortillas. And I just warmed them up, but now I'm just going to dip it in the sauce. And I'm just going to add some of the chicken. Along with the cheese. I use mozzarella cheese. You guys can use any cheese that you like. Any melting white cheese that you like. But I just use mozzarella. And I'm just going to roll my enchilada. And I'm just going to do the same to the other enchilada or tortilla. I'm just going to be adding the meat or the chicken along with a little bit of cheese. And I'm just going to roll it really tight and set it to the side. And I'm just going to do this or continue this process with the remaining tortillas. I used a 20-pack tortilla. I used all 20 tortillas. So, and I had some remaining chicken left. But yeah. I'm just going to roll. And let me know if you guys ever had white enchiladas before. But these came out really, really good. I'm just going to dip my tortilla in the sauce and add some chicken. I'm just going to add a little bit of the mozzarella cheese. You guys can add as much cheese as you want in your enchilada, and also chicken. But I made 20 enchiladas in total. I'm just doing the same thing, the same method. I'm just going to fill my tortilla and roll. And if you guys wanted to, you could lightly add some oil or like spray or butter into your pan. But my enchiladas really didn't stick. I didn't put any oil or anything. But if you don't add oil, then you'll still be good because of the sauce and stuff. But mine didn't really stick. But if you guys do decide to add oil into your pan, make sure you lightly add it using a napkin to get rid of the excess oil. But yeah, I'm just going to roll all of my enchiladas, and while I'm doing this, it smells so good. The sauce smells so good, and the chicken also. But yeah, this is a really good recipe, and it's a really quick dinner recipe. But yeah, if you guys are looking for a quick and easy dinner recipe, then this is perfect. You guys can also have for the sides, you can also have frijoles y arroz. But yeah, or you can just eat the enchiladas by itself. About 3 of them. They'll definitely fill you up. But here I'm just dipping my tortilla in the sauce, and I'm just going to add the meat and the cheese and roll it up. And you guys can also make taquitos like this. You can add the meat and the cheese and then fry it. That'll be really good. And then have the sauce with it. Yeah, that'll be really good. Let me know what you guys want to see me make next. Let me know if you guys want me to start a agua fresca series. But that was the last one, and I actually had another pan, but that was off camera. But I'm just going to ladle over my enchilada sauce. I'm just going to cover my tortilla, making sure every tortilla is covered, because we don't want our enchiladas to be dry or anything like that. But make sure you guys cover everything, and yeah, you don't want to leave your tortilla dry, or else it'll be like crispy, and like you don't want that. So I'm just going to add or ladle generously ladle over my enchilada sauce, making sure every tortilla gets some sauce. And I'm just going to go in with some mozzarella cheese. You guys can use any melting cheese. Like I said, you guys can use Mexican cheese or Chihuahua cheese. That would be really perfect for this dish. But I'm just going to sprinkle over my cheese, and I'm just going to garnish it with some cilantro. And I'm just going to place my enchiladas in the oven for 10 minutes or until the cheese melts. And yeah, I'm just going to be adding my enchiladas in the oven, and they look and smell good already. But I'm just going to place them in the oven for 10 minutes. And this is how they look when they come out. But these enchiladas were really good and delicious. You guys should definitely try this recipe. And this is the other pan, but this is how my enchiladas look when they came out. I'm just going to add a little bit of the sauce, and the sauce is so delicious. But I'm just going to add over the sauce, and I'm just going to add 3 enchiladas to the plate. But yeah, I'm just going to fix a plate, and this is how my white enchiladas came out. They were really, really good. I hope you guys try this recipe. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram and TikTok. Make sure you guys are subscribed and give me a big thumbs up. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Adios.